put the spotlight on lab-grown diamond jewelry company Aukera, which has raised around $15 million in growth capital. That's led by Peak 15 partners, with follow-on participation from existing investors, and that includes Fireside Ventures, Sparrow Capital, Prath Ventures, and Aukera Capital, amongst others. And of course, joining us now to discuss more about the company, the latest fundraise, and of course the growth trajectory that the CEO of the company is factoring in for the company. I'm now joined by Lisa Mukherjee, the founder and CEO of Aukera lab-grown diamond jewelry. Thank you very much, Lisa, for joining us here on ET Now. First things first, how are you looking at deploying this funding? This is essentially growth capital. Give us a sense of where all this money is going to go.
So the funds are fundamentally going to be used to expand our retail footprint. We believe that this business is largely dependent on physical retail. So while we are an omni brand, the funds will primarily be used for retail expansion, like I said. We will also, invest further in developing our team, which will build out design and merchandising and everything else that's required to build a long-term valuable brand.
Right. So, Lisa, why did you particularly choose retail expansion as your strategy, and why did you not foray into e-commerce as a channel more? Does this mean, when you talk about retail expansion, does this mean that you'll be putting in more monies into retail expansion and not really into online expansion?
Yes, it's primarily retail expansion because it is our belief that is jewelry, and as a woman, we do primarily want to try on to physically be in touch with the jewelry, to get reassurance from the brand, and therefore physical retail is far more important than online retail. Online is really a method of discovery, but the purchase really happens in offline retail stores.
All right. So that's a very interesting insight that you're mentioning. And of course, you're not going completely digital, but you're looking at offline expansion. But Lisa, give us a sense of which geographies are you looking at expanding? Where all are you present at the moment?
At the moment, we're in Bangalore and Hyderabad and in NCR. We will expand further in these three locations, but we will also expand pan-India because Aukera will be a national player and a really strong national player at that.
Okay, and do talk to us about the competitive landscape and the kind of differentiation that Aukera is bringing to the table. And how large do you think the current market, this lab-grown diamond market is, and how are you going to be differentiating yourself amidst a whole host of brands that already exist in the segment?
Sure. There are a lot of brands. You're absolutely right. Competition is increasing, but that's wonderful because it means that the market is growing. The way Aukera differentiates itself is, to begin with, we see the lab-grown diamond segment slightly differently from most players, right? While most players are trying to, say that it's cheap, come and get it. Aukera's belief is that this is really valuable, high-quality jewelry that we're selling. That's our belief. We therefore invest a lot in design, in brand building, in the service experience that we offer at our retail stores. It's important to be able to give women confidence. It's important to be able to answer all their questions and really offer them very, very high quality jewelry. So we spend a lot on innovation, for example. We're constantly developing the next and the next diamond. Lab-grown diamonds offer you enormous potential to innovate with colors, with quality, with shapes, with the kind of jewelry that you can offer. So it is our belief that diamond jewelry will finally be sold and offer the kind of jewelry that women really want, which is really high quality, beautifully designed, beautifully crafted jewelry.
Right. Right. So quality is something that you will be paying special focus to. But Lisa, when we talk about the lab-grown diamond segment, do you think this is an actual disruption that's coming in the diamond industry, or will this segment play a complementary role to the diamond industry?
Sumita, it's a full-on disruption that everyone is witnessing just now. It's something that happened in the US. And it's something that's already started playing out in India. There is no doubt that when you have something that offers better quality at a much better price, that consumers will flock towards it, right? So it's still early days in the sense that the market has just begun to grow, but that it will disrupt completely is, I don't think, a matter of debate. We're all watching it happening.
Okay, and I want to now understand from you on the kind of growth that you're anticipating for your company versus the kind of growth that's being seen in this segment. And are international market opportunities, do those excite you at the moment, especially as far as Southeast Asia is concerned?
I see us becoming a global brand one day, but just now there's more than enough to be done and had in India. And so India is clearly our focus. We see ourselves being 1,000 crore brand in the next 5 to 7 years.
Okay, so 1,000 crore brand in the next 5 to 7 years. But Lisa, if you could also talk about the factors that will aid the growth that you are projecting for the company, the demand drivers, for instance.
So the demand drivers are there for anyone to see, which is that you have a product that offers a brilliant consumer value proposition. Like I said, it's the same. It's just that you have way better quality with lab-grown diamonds at a remarkably, a fabulous price. And so the value proposition that is offered by lab-grown diamonds is terrific. In that, you have Aukera, which focuses very, very strongly on building a brand that is rooted in design, in craftsmanship, in innovation, and a service experience that has not been seen before in the jewelry industry in India. So with these kinds of differentiators, with this kind of fundamental thinking, we believe that we will actually lead the disruption that we're seeing in the precious jewelry segment in India.
Right, Lisa. Let's also talk about the pricing strategy and how it's evolving in the lab-grown diamond market segment. Of course, affordability is one of the reasons why there is so much of interest in this segment. But can brands sustain the current level of prices that we're seeing in the industry, given the fact that there are geopolitical changes that are happening globally, and those will have a trickle-down effect on economies eventually, the growth trajectory of those economies, and ultimately, how much does the consumer end up gaining or not gaining from them, and the kind of pressures that the consumer really feels. So will companies be able to sustain the current level of pricing in the lab-grown diamond segment?
I don't only see, brands sustaining their pricing. I think the prices are now going to grow. You have a category which is finally driven by actual demand and supply, right? Prices are dictated by that and not by any other factors. It's purely demand and supply. So with that, I have no doubt that as demand increases now, prices will begin to climb in the years to come. And yes, I don't think there's any doubt that we will be able to sustain this. If you look at what the incumbents charge and what lab-grown diamonds offer, there is a significant difference, and therefore this is something that's here to stay. Yes, both categories will likely exist. There will be mined and there will be lab-grown, but the fact that we're facing a disruption, we're in the middle of a disruption, is plain to see.
Okay, and what is the share? You mentioned about the growth plans that you have. 1,000 crore brand is something that you're anticipating as growth for the company. But what is the kind of share that Aukera aims to capture?
Look, I would like to think that we're going to be a market leader in this category, and we're setting ourselves up for that. I can't specify what exactly the market share will be. Like I said, it's early days. We've just begun. But everything points to lab-grown diamonds as a segment growing very, very significantly. And I think Aukera's strategy is well poised for capturing a very significant part and, like I said, becoming a market leader.
All right, Lisa, on that note, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and, of course, the company's growth trajectory, the growth outlook that you're factoring in for Aukera Diamonds. Congratulations on the latest fundraise and hope to speak with you soon.
Thank you very much, Sumita.